Alright, today we are talking about the species for the Edge of the Empire core rulebook for Fantasy Flight's Star Wars RPG. As with all three of the core rulebooks, we get 8 choices to choose from. We got Bothan, Droid, the Gand, Human, Rodian, Trandoshan, Twi'lek, and Wookiee. Gand are my favorite race. I don't know why. They're kind of short and stocky looking, which is kind of a handsome looking species. Also, they perpetually smell, which I like a species that has that ridiculous kind of flaw. It's not statted or anything, but they sweat ammonia or exude ammonia. The Gand come in 2 types. Some of them have lungs and they breathe, and some of them don't. You can either play a lungless Gand, at which point you'll be immune to suffocation, because, you know, no breathing. However, if you play a Gand with lungs, you get, well, a free mask. It's like 25-50 credits from the equipment section, although it gives you ammonia. You breathe ammonia and you treat oxygen as a hazardous environment for you, but in exchange for that you get, well, the free ammonia mask, but also you get a little boost to your experience points, which is pretty decent. And they have a very strong mind. One in presence, obviously, because they smell. Rodians. Apparently they're big on hunting. One Rodian in the movies that we saw or get any kind of knowledge about, he was a bounty hunter, so therefore they're all hunters. They're also big on plays, apparently. Stories of the hunt. Anyway, from a stat perspective, they're really good with survival, shooting, and tracking. They have all sorts of things to help with all 3 of these. So yeah, they're the bounty hunters. Keeping in line of, we get one example, and therefore they're all this thing. Twi'leks. In the Star Wars, we got Bib Fortuna, who was in charge of Jabba's space. He was the major domo. And we got a slave dancer. That's all we know about the Twi'leks. Therefore, they're really good at talkers. In fact, they can get a charm or deception rank because of that. Are you a slave dancer, or are you a scheming servant to a hut? That's your options. Not really, of course, but that's sort of where it comes from. Ryloth, where they're from, is a hot planet. They get a little help dealing with hot environments, and they're talkers. That's about it. Now, the Wookiees and the Trandoshans I want to talk about together because they're one of those pairs of species that have this rivalry. Trandoshans typically hunt Wookiee pelts, so if you have a Trandoshan and a Wookiee on the same team, there can be butting some heads or something if you want to do that. And 2 of my favorite species in the book are the Trandoshans and the Wookiees. They both get some really interesting abilities. The Trandoshans have these ridiculous deadly claws, and so they get help with brawl checks. And regeneration. That's another big thing with them. They can regenerate and heal limbs naturally. They also get a bit of help just healing over time in certain situations. And like the Wookiees, they are very brawn-focused. They're very big and tough. Now, the Wookiees also get some help with brawl, but in a very boring way, comparatively speaking. And in a very interesting way, they have a Wookiee Rage mode, where you do more damage with your brawl and melee checks under certain circumstances. Which is really cool. I could have sworn they also got help with mechanics, which they don't. If I ever said they did, they don't. I'm dumb. Though they still would make a good mechanic because of the brawler aspect of the mechanic tree. That's probably what I was trying to say. So the humans exist in all 3 core rulebooks. They get 2s across the board, no weakness, no strength, bit of extra experience points. 2, maybe 3 species off the top of my head that have as many points as the humans do. And their big special ability is they get a free rank and 2 different non-career skills. You need to have career skills before you can get a free rank in non-career skills. So I guess that kind of screws up the order. Typically you're supposed to pick your species, career, specialization, and applying the free ranks as you go in your skills. And then they get a free rank in 2 different non-career skill set. So the order, the natural order of things is a little screwed up with the humans. Next, let's talk about the Bothans. The Bothans are a clever, sneaky species. You know, many Bothans died to bring us this information. That was a line in a movie. Therefore, the entire race are spies. And they would be a good spy if you want to play that career from this book. Very cunning-focused. They're good at dealing with the criminal underworld, as well as get a little bit of help with talking. They're very deceptive. They're known as being greedy and devious as the Hutts, although in reality they're a bit more ethical from a background standpoint. But yeah, they're a race of spies. There's not much else culturally. Not a lot of interesting information, not much else to them. The droids can specialize in just about everything. The idea is that, you know, they're a droid that can be built up to do whatever specific task they are meant to do. And so they start off with 1s across the board and a whole metric, an ass ton of experience points to build your character with. Now, you can't actually build them up to the point of another species, 3, 1, and a bunch of 2s. Well, you can, but then you don't have anywhere near the amount of experience points. This is something where you really want to cut the fat. You do what you're designed to do, and you can be pretty good at it, but that's about it. They're, of course, inorganic, and there's a whole list of benefits from being inorganic, dealing with poison and sleep and that sort of thing. They also, because they're more specialized, they get more free ranks within their career. Saying you're, a protocol droid or a R2 unit, or, your chassis, it's like saying you're blonde or you have red hair or something. You just say that you are, although there might be certain mechanical benefits to being, say, an astromech droid. With the Aces sourcebook, there are certain mechanical benefits to just being an astromech droid, just saying you're an astromech droid.